Thank you so much for deciding to join me today. I really need to talk about this because it feels like we're doing everything in our power to push forward, to figure out everything, to figure out every problem, yet life still seems somehow to slip. Which is, so sad because we see so many people with such a greatness inside their heart suffering in silence, being unseen. I'm going to try to explain what neuroscience observed in the most simple way possible so anyone can understand what I'm talking about here. And it's truly mind blowing for me, and I just needed to share this. So, our brain is only 2% of our body weight. Only 2%. Yet, it consumes around 20% of our energy. 20%. And that's just insane when you think of it. That's truly incredible, which also means how significant our each individual existence is. And we'll get back to this later because it will all connect. Since the ancient times, our brain was wired around threats and danger in order for us to survive. Just like cavemen in the ancient times, making sure there aren't threats around them, like harsh conditions, wild animals, or any danger. Humanity's existence is estimated to be around 7 million years, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm talking about the first human species that we evolved from. And our current reality is drastically different to the medieval and the ancient times. And also, this current age is such a tiny part of it compared to the ancient times. When I talked about that the brain uses around 20% of our energy, it being only 2% of the body weight, the brain was wired around using the energy efficiently. And for the evolution of the brain, it seemed more necessarily for the brain to search for threats rather than for reasons for joy and happiness. And it could be a puzzle behind overthinking, feeling off, and almost any intrusive feeling imaginable. Basically, there's a possibility that the brain is afraid of focusing too much on joy and happiness because then you would stop looking for the wild animals around you. I know it sounds insane, but that's basically how the brain is structured. It's possible that the brain would let you be miserable and safe than caught off guard. However, even in this day and age, there is so much danger at the pace of modern age seems to be just insanely fast. But like what if I told you that overthinking and having intrusive and like very very bad thoughts about our life is actually counterproductive for the brain and leads to less efficiency and productivity and leads to a solution that figures our problems. There's so many reasons, but like think of the brain like smartphone. If you keep too many heavy apps running in the background, like overthinking and constantly pushing the brain to figure out current thoughts, just pushing and pushing those thoughts to figure out an outcome, the phone gets hot, lags, and dies quickly. And of course, this is not the only reason behind unhappiness, intrusive thoughts, or any negative feelings whatsoever, but it's a puzzle because it seems as though the better heart someone has, or the more potential greatness someone has inside them, the more they are usually unseen, misunderstood, or suffer through levels of pain that are too hard to even describe. And this is where this all connects. In today's society, talking about our feelings, emotions, etc., is considered to be a weakness. So many amazing people are hiding in shame, are afraid to share their feelings and what is actually going on inside them because they are afraid of shame, misunderstanding. But saying someone is weak for feeling off is one of the most illogical things you can possibly hear because that's just completely not how the brain works, the body works, etc. And I know I might sound crazy for saying this, but personally for me, it seems that a huge part of society don't only view feelings as weakness, but also compassion and empathy because it happens all the time. The moment you try to bright up the world with a little bit of compassion, empathy, the moment you do that, it seems as though someone sees it as weakness and tries to immediately abuse your good heart. And that's why we need to protect our boundaries at all costs. But when you think about it more deeply, compassion and empathy is one of the strongest things to do. And protecting our boundaries, etc., when doing so is also a sign of incredible strength. And like it's truly mind blowing how people with the greatest hearts seem to not always but many times suffer such a huge pain in their life that it's impossible to describe. You know, there's infinite amount of injustice in the world, of course, but what's also very interesting is how some good people might be misunderstood in a way that people don't see the goodness inside them. I had a voiceover that I made just laying on the bed before, but there was so much noise from my laptop, so I decided to just write my thoughts down here as they are so it's more easy to understand. Because it was really on my heart, you know, and it felt really important for me to share this to you. So I wanted it to be more understandable. And so basically I listened to the thing, I recorded again, and I put it down to words that I'm reading right now. Before I end, I truly appreciate your precious time here. It really means so much to me, and feel absolutely free to hang out with me even more and explore the fascinating galaxy and the universe of our feelings, emotions, thoughts, happiness in life. Because I've been truly fascinated with it lately, and it seems like we don't talk about this enough, or maybe even at all. And I think it's really fascinating and mind blowing, actually. And you know, space, the universe, fascinates me so much. Also, I love exploring the space, etc. But our feelings, emotions, the brain, what neuroscience knows, actually exploring that seems equally as thrilling, as fascinating to me as exploring the space and the universe. So take care, especially take care, please. I wish you so much joy, strength, and resilience in this crazy world. And I can't wait to catch you soon.